Hello and welcome to another episode of Barrelman TV. My name is Steve Fleck, and I am the lead announcer for the MultiSport Canada Triathlon Series and the Barrelman Triathlon. Today's episode features a special 10th anniversary Barrelman Niagara Falls pre-race briefing for athletes racing with us on September the 14th. The team at MultiSport Canada is coming to you live today with all you need to know before race weekend. John Salt, Jason Verma, and Carolyn Simons will be going over topics such as general race information, technical details, schedules, and results. John, over to you.
Thanks very much, Steve. On behalf of all of the team at MultiSport Canada, I want to thank everybody who registered to participate in the Barrelman this year. It's our 10th anniversary, and we're hoping to make this something special. One of the things that we're changing is this. Normally, there's a mandatory pre-race briefing on the Saturday, and because we've had such great weather for the last 10 years, it's been stinking hot, and I know that a lot of athletes sit through that in the sun, and it's not the most comfortable. So what we've decided this year is to have this pre-race video online. Now, there still will be a meeting on Saturday. Shouldn't take much more than about 10 or 15 minutes. It'll be any last-minute changes, and any questions that you might have, well, you can ask those questions to the group, and we'll be happy to answer them live. So as I mentioned, there are a number of changes this year, which we are excited about. For a number of years, we've heard that it'd be nice if there was a race of a shorter distance at Barrelman. Well, as it turns out, it's exactly 40 kilometers from the Flatwater Center in Welland to Kingsbridge Park in Niagara Falls. So it was pretty much a slam dunk decision to make. We now have an Olympic distance race, and we're happy to say it sold out once. We were able to make a bit more room in the transition area, so we increased the registration. So there's over 250 of you in the Olympic distance race, and we want to thank you for coming out this year. For those of you who have participated in the past in the half, you'll know that, especially if you were there last year, that we did not have all of the Dufferin Islands section in on the run. There was some construction there. So we had to shorten that section, which of course is one of the nicer sections. It's nice and shady. We've got an aid station in there. This year, that full section on Dufferin Islands is back. Any of you who've raced with Barrelman for a number of years will know that we've had years where we've had to make some last-minute changes on the bike course. This is because of unforeseen construction that was going to take place on a section of the bike course, and we've had to make those changes on the fly. It's worked out well, and we really haven't had any issues, but it hasn't always been the best road conditions, and we don't like that. So once we realized we had that 40 kilometer straight shot to Kingsbridge Park in Niagara Falls, Jason took a look at everything, and we realized, why don't we make this a loop course? And with the cooperation of the Niagara Parks Commission, we've been able to close that section of the course. So this year, there's going to be 65 kilometers of the 90 kilometers that will be closed roads on almost pristine roads. There will be a 2-loop section, which Jason will get into in a minute, on the Niagara Parkway. So that's a really scenic route, and we're really pleased that we're going to be able to give you that. So as far as the bike course goes, there's one thing that we wanted to make sure that no athlete was confused as to where they were on the course. I know back when I used to participate in events, I get confused if there was a lap course. So with the cooperation of Sports Stats, there will be a tent out at the turnaround point. That tent will have a monitor. It will show your name, your bib number, and how many laps you've completed. So you're really not going to have to worry about that aspect of the race at all. I think that's about all I need to cover right now. I'm going to turn it over to Jason, and he's going to give you some more in-depth details on the course itself. Over to you, Jason.
Thanks, John. So most of you will start your day with us at the Upper Rapids parking lot in Niagara Falls, where you'll be catching shuttle buses over to the site in Welland. Special note for those in the Olympic distance race, you'll be dropping your bike off at Welland in the morning, and you are more than welcome to drive to Niagara Falls, park your car in Upper Rapids, and catch the shuttle bus back to the WIFC. Once you're there at the WIFC in the morning, what's unique about Barrelman is our baggage system. So we give you 3 different bags, a red bag for your run gear, and that we take from Welland to Niagara Falls while the race is running, and we'll place that under your bike rack at Kingsbridge Park so it's ready for you when you arrive. Your clear bag which has your civilian clothes or street clothes in it, and we'll also take that over for you at the same time. And then lastly, what we call the black bag, think wetsuit, black, and that takes your wetsuit and all your wet swim gear and comes over just a little bit later. The swim courses at the WIFC are in what we love to call Ontario's biggest outdoor pool. 100 meters wide and over 1,000 meters long. The easiest swim courses to navigate, we'd like to think, in the province, because there is an underwater guy wire that you're able to follow while you swim. Keeps you straight and makes for some fast times. Olympic and the half share a very similar course with a long rectangular front section and back section, and again, just that short 100-meter section across the canal. Once you're into T1, pretty well a normal T1, I would say, except you do need to stow all of your swim gear in your black bag and leave that underneath your bike rack for our baggage team to be able to take over to Niagara Falls. When you're on the bike, the Olympic and the half are common for about the first 38 odd kilometers of the course. And that's, as John described, the straight shot from Welland across Netherby, underneath the tunnel. That's a bit of a cool section, and to the Niagara Parkway. And once you reach the north end of the Niagara Parkway, for the Olympic distance racers, simple, keep on trucking and head up and over the Waitman Bridge and into Kingsbridge Park. And at that point, that's when our half athletes start their 2 loops on the Niagara Parkway. And at the north end of the loop, as John said, is where the lap counter will be. So once you've passed the north end of the loop for the second time, we're calling your first trip there lap 0. After 2 full loops, you'll see your name on the screen, John Salt, 2 laps, green. That means you head north over the same Waitman Bridge that the Olympic distance athletes would do and all the way into Kingsbridge Park. So when you arrive in Kingsbridge Park, all athletes will have their red run gear bag waiting for them underneath their bike rack. Olympic distance athletes and half distance athletes do the same run course, Olympic 1 loop, half 2 loops. That heads out, runs north along the Niagara Parkway, and as John mentioned, into beautiful Dufferin Islands, passing several aid stations along the way up what we call Burning Spring Hill, the, I would say, steepest hill in the race. And then we run to what we're going to call the south end of downtown Niagara Falls, where there is actually a view from the top of the Niagara Falls inclined railway where you can see down to the Horseshoe Falls. So when you're up there at our northernmost turnaround, take a moment, look a bit right, see the falls, and then head back down. Our aid stations serve water, F2C glycodurance, and are staffed by some really enthusiastic volunteers. They're going to be there to help cheer you on and keep you well motivated. When you get back to Kingsbridge Park, Olympic distance athletes, that's easy for you. Head right to the finish. Half distance athletes, 1 more loop, and then your Barrelman finish. Happy to take any questions on event day. That's why we're here. And I'll turn it over to Carolyn to chat about registration and awards.
Thanks, Jason. Now that you've covered the technical details that I think are always top of mind before our events, let's go through some of the smaller details that you'll need to know when you arrive at the Welland International Flatwater Center. We will be having a Saturday athlete check-in from 10:30 to 4 p.m. It is mandatory that you do have your bike in the fenced-in corral that day. You'll make your way into registration, and as Jason mentioned to you before, your bags you will be collecting at that point, as well as sticker kits that'll associate themselves with those bags. Please be sure you do not miss those steps in registration. Our team will be there to guide you through each individual step, starting with your bib number. You can expect to have that from us on the Wednesday prior to the event. And of course, we will have updates available online for wave starts that will apply to you specifically. So you will know exactly which time to arrive in order to be ready for race day. Sunday morning, pre-race registration will be from 5:45 to 7:15 a.m. That is a moment where you can take the opportunity to have a quick chat with the team before the pre-race briefing, the national anthem begin, and the start of the last-minute race announcements. We also will have the optional briefing if for any reason you have an extenuating circumstance where you cannot attend on this Saturday. That'll be at 7:15 a.m. inside the Welland International Flatwater Center. Both John will be there at one end, and Jason, you're at the other end, aren't you?
I might be packing bags at that point in time, Carolyn.
Sounds good. Those are those bags that are important to get over to our team, and please don't forget. It's important that you do have those baggage stickers on there as well as your tattoo so we can identify you during the race at all times. The elite wave for the half will be going off at 8:29 a.m. That will be a select small wave of individuals who have sent in qualifying event information for what we consider a time that is eligible to be in that first wave. If this applies to you and you're hearing this today, please be sure to get your Elite Wave 1 requests into us on the Tuesday prior to race week. That would be September the 9th for any Elite Waves. The bike run format will be the following. We would like for all bike run athletes to make their way out towards the bike out exit. You will see racking there, and you will also be in what's called a time trial or individual start format. Those athletes will be lining up in order of bib number and going out onto the bike course according to the time clock and the official who will be there to get you underway with your race. The age groups, which we will be having different formats this year with the addition of the Olympic. It's important to remember that the size of the race dictates the age group ranking. For both the Olympic distance triathlon and the half distance triathlon, you can expect to have 5-year age groups. We're excited to announce that, just simply because as a testament to your participation, we have the numbers to ensure that you will have a 5-year age group selection. For the bike run and the swim bike, this is a unique format whereby when we have typically fewer numbers in those specific sub-events, we break them down into 39 and under categories. We've got 40 to 59 age group categories, as well as a 60 plus category. Very important as well, please stay tuned to Steve Fleck, who will be on site, in order to deliver some of those notes to you while you're during the event, finishing up your race on when the award start times will begin. We typically see our awards start at 1:30 and then wrap up shortly after 3:30. We appreciate your patience in advance, just in case we need a little bit of time to ascertain that all of the results have been accurately checked for integrity, as well as making sure that if there is any last minute changes that we need to make on our end, that we get that accuracy nailed down before awards start. And Stu will be able to take care of some of those details as well, so that everyone is lined up and ready to go live for their podium. We want you to feel celebrated on race day. Results will be live during the event at sportstats.ca. If you do have any friends or family who are trying to look up your results, please encourage them to keep refreshing their phones in order to get those live updates. They do take a few minutes from time to time, and that's also us ensuring that we can allow any updates and changes to be posted online so that we do have everything we need for that results and celebration of a ceremony for all the podium finishers. For Triathlon Canada qualifying information, we are hosting the Long Course Triathlon as a 2026 age group national team qualifier for the team that will be proceeding on next year. What you can expect for that, and again, if you're hearing this today, do not forget to get your expression of interest into Triathlon Canada prior to the race. Ideally on the Friday, that would be the best bet in order for that information to get to Triathlon Canada before you start your race. You cannot do it the day of the race. It must be done on the Friday prior. That will allow for your age-adjusted results, which we know you will be in that age-up category the following year, to get sent to Triathlon Canada for validation, and that's why we have you in age group categories on race day, as well as age-adjusted results that you can expect to learn more from if you are looking to qualify. Having said that, I'm going to pass it back over to John to take a few notes from here.
Thanks, Carolyn. We hope this pre-race briefing has been able to answer any questions you might have. If you still have some of those questions, it's important, and you should do this anyway. Go to the website, NiagaraFallsTriathlon.com, athlete info. All of this information is available there, from the course maps to the times, race day schedules, etc. So we'd ask that you go there, review that. And as I said earlier, we still will be having a small briefing. At some point on Saturday, we'll announce the time at a later date. We'll have a small briefing where we'll cover any last minute changes. And anybody who has any questions, we'll throw it out while the group's there, and we'll be able to answer those real time. And finally, the whole team of MultiSport Canada thanks you very much for registering to race with Barrelman. We also want to, I want to say a special thank you to those Olympic distance athletes who are coming out and racing with us for the very first time. We've always envisioned this to be a festival type weekend, and we're hoping that this addition to the Olympic event, along with the half, is going to do just that. So thanks again. Look forward to seeing you in September.
Please check your pre-event emails and visit the website for a full schedule of events, parking info, and course maps at niagarafallstriathlon.com.